Okay, to do the teamwork, you should belong to one team. All right. So find a team. You should join. No, into a team, right? And you don't need to present it, right? Don't give me the topic and justify its reason, right? It's a teamwork, right? Not personal assignment. It's a team assignment. Okay. But during the break, a student came to me and asked me a very interesting question. Never thought about that. I think, well, I don't know. Well, he asked that it's allowable to have coffee. It means a drink. I don't know. I think yes. I, I always bring the drinks. So it could be vinegar, or it could be water, or it could be coffee. Just don't spread it. So I don't think it's a problem. I don't know. I think it's yes. All right. So okay, after the introductions of objectives, then we're going to introduce that. Well, so why do we need a formal process? So that means that STOC is a formal process. When we think about formal, the term formal, right? Formal education, right? So university, high school, junior high, or even primary school, that's a formal education, right? So they have a standard step. So formal process. If it's informal, right? Formal education, informal like cram school, right? So you go to cram school for some specific purpose, right? You wanted to pass some particular examination. That's for that purpose, right? That's informal process. But here it says a formal process. So we know that they are going to have a series of steps that you can redo it, right? Redo it, and other one, right, can done it because we have the steps. It's a formal process, right? So we know that well a lot of systems failed. So to prevent failure from happening or to fix bugs, right? Then we need to know what reason make the failure, all right? If it occur, how can we stop it? Like that. So failure occur often, or some overestimations of the implementation. All right, we think that well, I can finish that, or we can finish that in 1 month, but actually not. All right, it's it says creating system is not intuitive, not just what you, it's just come about you. Yeah, we can do this, just that, right? Then someone cannot redo it because it's not a formal process. So you need to write it out and then implement it. And after a lot of implementation, you know that, well, there come a model, then we can use it, reuse it, right? So creating system, that is very difficult. It's not intuitive. It's not just come to your mind, say, yo, like what, well, what about a lunch? Then we can buy a lunch box. It's intuitive, right? You don't need to design. You need to, no need to do that. So creating system, not that easy. It's not intuitive, right? If you overestimate it because you don't understand it well, then usually the project are late, right? Usually when you think that you can finish that in 1 month, but actually it's not. So project are late, over budget, or delivered with fewer feature because you cannot finish that, right? So you can only finish some feature. All right. So that's why we need a formal process. We know that what's wrong, right? Probably this step, there's something wrong that we can pinpoint to that part and stop it, right? And the analyst, right? System analyst is a crucial one. The key person, right? Key person, because to be a system analyst, you need to know the formal process, right? So you know that the reason to design a system is to add value, right? Probably it's going to enhance your production, right? Can help you work out something, right? Or it's a search engine, right? Help you to search, right? So design system is to add value because humans are limited. No, or we cannot do a lot of things at the same time, right? Then you need some tool to help you out. You need to understand the business process, right? So this part is not that difficult, not that technical, right? Not that technical. You need to listen. You need to read, some documentation, or listen to kind, right? Know the requirements. So with understanding of the requirements, then you know why we wanted to build it. The job is rewarding. Yeah, it's challenging. That essay, right? This course, is difficult. It's challenging, but it's rewarding. That's so. If that is very easy, it's not rewarding, or it's just that. You're hungry and you eat, and you're full, and you're hungry again, right? That's, but this is not, all right? You can use for very long. So the system can help you, solve a lot of problems. Of course, you need to learn, right? So require specific skill sets. That's why you come here. 4 phases: planning, analysis, design, and implementation. I said that this is not fixed, right? Probably you can see that some researchers make it as 5, 6, 7 phases, probably, right, or more. Big or smaller, right? For example, you can subdivide this one of that, like planning as a 2 or 3 phases if you want to, right? To subdivide it, yeah, you can do that, or you make it a big category, right? Planning, analysis, design, implementation. So we start from planning. Initiate your idea. You start your idea. Like assignment, team assignment 1. I want you to think that what topic, right? What topic you're going to do that will interest you, right? So I can read your description and things, and I said, okay, student like to do that, right? So you plan, that is the beginning, right? So you start from planning. It's quite important, very important. With good planning, then we do the good, right? Do the right thing the first time, all right? So you choose the right direction, do the right thing the first time, and then do it right. So you have the procedure to finish your task, right? So you have a big dream, right? Of course, you should have a dream, right? You have a planning, right? So you plan it well. Then find something, right? You can subdivide it, right? So divide and conquer it. You divide it. Analyze, right? The subdivision that, okay, this and this and this. And then find a way to do it. How to do it, design. And implement it to see that is this right? Right? So do the right thing and then do it right. So that's the planning, right? So we know we have this 4 phases, right? This test book, 4 phases. I said that's not fixed, right? 4 phases. Each phase consists of series of steps, right? Each phase is documented, right? So when we talk about deliverable, deliverable for each phase has a deliverable. Based on the deliverable, then we know that, right? We can evaluate the deliverable, right? It probably is a documentation or code or a prototype or whatever, that we can evaluate that and say, okay, you can go to the next phase. So you gotta have something that's the deliverable. So like printing. So when we print something, then yeah, we have a report. And this kind of report is a feasibility study report. We know that it's feasible, right? So yeah, we thought that we can have enough budgets to support it, and we have enough professional, right, to make it. So persons, we have budgets, and well, in the time, it's okay, all right. So is it feasible? So we have a feasibility study report. Then, well, it's feasible, and we go to the next phase. So feasibility study report has become the deliverable planning phase, right? Then we analyze it. Then we have analyzation, right? And then we go to design, very detailed spec, and we have the implementation. So each phase has its documentation. So we call the documentation as deliverable. Documentation could be code, right? Could be system, all right? Whatever is the phase product, right? Not the end, right? But the phase. If phases are executed sequentially, right? Sequentially means that we do it in order, right? In order, from planning, go to analysis, then design, and finally implementation, sequentially in order. You are not going to reverse that, or you mix them up. Like we start from design and planning. Oh no, don't mix that. So execute it sequentially, incrementally. So when we increment something, that we add value to it, right? Increment. So next step will be different from the previous step. So with previous result, and then we can do the next phase, right? So incrementally we add value to it, then you can go like loop irregularly. So there become 3 special features or characteristics of SDLC, right? So no matter how many phases you divide it, you go like that sequentially, right? And you might combine some phases together, right? But even you combine that, you still have more or less planning, analysis, design. That's right. So it's a phase. If we can divide it, right? Usually it's very structured, then we divide it, or we put it some part of it together, right? But phases can execute it sequentially, incrementally, irregularly, right? The characteristic of that. So we said that planning so focus on why, the reason, right? Justify that. We know that the value that can help us, right? For something, probably reduce the error, right? Or enhance our production, right? Or it can, can help to, to earn more profits like that. So whatever, that's the value. And we know that how long, the time that it is reasonable to make it, and we can take it. So the planning phase, and then we analyze it, because we should know that somebody needs the function, somebody needs the system, right? And we can add value to them. Analysis, okay, and design it. So here, feasibility analysis or feasibility study, you come with the report. It means that if that is feasible, then we can go to the next phase. If it's not feasible, probably stop. Right? We stop it. So project initiation, we start from the idea. So when we think, we should act, right? So act. The action probably stop also an action because it's not feasible, right? If it is not feasible, we stop it. Also, that is an action, not to go. If we go, we go to the wrong way, right? That's not good at all, right? And you develop the work plans, step the project. So you know that's who can participate in that. So the planning analysis, you want to analyze the system if that is based on the current system, right, existing system, then you need to know the current system, right, and use the know-how that you learned to model the current system, because you cannot just use plain word to describe the current system, right? You have some tool to help you to draw the diagram, for example, that you model the current system. When you model something, that you put your abstraction or your thoughts, right, into graphical graphical representation that models, and everyone can understand that, right? So that you use UML, right? You model that everyone, no matter what kinds of culture or language, they understand that. You model that. Or map, right? Map, that's north part, south part, east and west. So everyone knows that, and you know the direction. Even you don't understand language, then so map is also a model. It's a graphical representation. So model the current system and then find some spot that we can improve at. Formulate the new system. New system is the to be, right? To be system from this one towards, the future. So develop an analysis strategy. So you need to know how to model, right? How to model that. And of course, gather the requirements since it is feasible. Because we go to the analysis phase, we know it's feasible, right? So gather the requirements from user, client, right? So from clients, then we gather the requirement probably by interview, by questionnaire, right? Questionnaire, or read the current documentation, on-site observation. That there's a lot of way to help us to understand the requirements, and then you understand business modeling, right? Their process. So the process, well, of course, we care about process. So we talk about process as an input, process, output, something might store. So storage, right? Then we will have a system proposal. Then how to do it? It's a system proposal. So with the system proposal, we can design it. So this proposal, we have a good reason, right? And we have the diagram. The diagram shows us the interrelationship between the components, right? And then what functions will be designed, okay? That's in the time, budget, that's. So this analysis, and then design, okay? So design, we'll go to very specific architecture and know the current hardware, software, all right? So you might use file processing, so import some file, or together with relational database, object-oriented database, NoSQL, That's so the data is quite important, right? So design, because we'll go to the real core of the system, that is very difficult, right? So we should have someone know how to program it. Implementation, because we wanted to construct, right? Construct, so build it and test it, right? This is the very formal process. No, means go from a long journey, planning, analysis, design, implementation, test it, but it's arguable, right? So unless we have a good planning or the process, then we test it, right? But usually nowadays we prefer to test from the very beginning. We do something planning and analysis, design, we test it, right? We have unit tests, integration tests, then we have a lot of testing. But here, that is the formal process, right? Formal process also very helpful because it tells us that that is the formal process. But usually we have good planning, so plan is thoroughly done. We thought that the requirement probably not change often, right? It's quite stable requirements, so then it's not change that. And then we test it, install it, train the user, right? And you support the system, the maintenance, right? You might see some other SDLC, you will have implementation and maintenance phase. If you cannot see that like this, then you know that the maintenance become part of implementation phase, right? Next, we'll go to methodology, and before that, right? I am going to ask question. You guys still don't have your name. I told you that you don't prepare for that today, then you're absent. Do you understand that? 我告诉你们，每一个人都要准备名字。你今天坐在这个地方，你还是算是缺席。我要你们准备你们的名字，听不懂吗？你没有办法拿到你的名字吗？阿 K 的，你这样子算缺席哦。我已经讲了几次了哦，不要让我再讲。就是你没有名字，你算缺席。You get that？ 你们没有名字的，名字弄出来，知道吧？ What's your name? Put it there. Put it in thick, right? It's very light. Okay, darling. Tell me that when we talk about SDLC, right? So now the test was set how many phases? Use microphone. Press it on. Turn it on. How many phases?
4 phases.
4 phases. Is it fixed? Is it a fixed number or not?
Teacher, could you say? Can you say again?
Is it fixed? The number is fixed or is it valid? Does it change? 4 phases. Can we put it as a 5 or 6 or 7?
Is from phrases. Planning, analysis, now design, implementation.
You don't understand my question. Tom, is it fixed? the number of phases is a fixed, or we can change it. Answer. The number of phases. Now the textbook said, right? So Darren said it's a 4 phases. Then let's follow. And also, we don't have your data. We don't have your data. You gotta fill the form. Does anyone wanted to answer? Okay, Alex?
Not fixed.
It's not fixed? Alright, so it could be 5, 6, 7.
Yes, like maintenance in this textbook is including the implementation, but it can also be divided into 1 phases.
Okay, then, okay. So that's good. Okay. Jackie? Which phase we regard as very important? The most important one?
The planning.
Planning? Okay, which W focused? Particularly in the planning phase. Which W? So why, what, when?
Where,
Yeah, which W?
why, when, who, why, when, who, what.
Now which one? Which one? Which W? Particular focus in the planning phase.
Why?
Why? Why is particular, and what will be focused in the analysis phase?
Well,
Who can answer this question? Again, Benny?
who, what, where, and when.
Which one? I say which. Particularly in planning and analysis. Planning, that's why, right?
Yes.
You guys know what you mean. Do we care about what is the analysis phase? Do we care about what in analysis phase?
Yes.
And tell me the what. What does it mean, what?
On strategy
Strategy.
and requirement gathering and system proposal.
Okay. All right. So we need to know what, right? What? They says strategy. What do you mean strategy? Yeah, tell me that. What do you mean strategy? Penny?
Don't know.
Okay, so what about the what?
You mean the strategy?
Yeah, whatever you wanted to say about analysis
And-
phase. Analysis phase, I said that we care about what, right? And yeah, we care about what, and what it means what. So Benny said what? It was strategy. No.
do you mean the most important things? Or what the analysis strategy is?
The analysis phase.
The analysis strategy is you have to model the system and keep fix the bugs and update to the new system.
Okay, we got to know the current system, right? Current
Yeah.
system. And then so we have the to be, right?
Yeah.
To be system, new system. Yeah, but right. So when we talk about that, we need to know the current system, right? But and go to the to be system. Actually, what is a lot of things, but yeah, what function, right? Function that we're going to design, right? So because this is the project, this is the system, right? So system initiation, right? Planning, then analysis. You should know what function that we should provide, right? If you know that part, that means that you have already understand the requirement from the current system, right? Current system probably they have a lot of value, right? Or the bugs, right? And we need to fix that. Or no, that is quite new, right? We need to know what function, right? What function that we need to have. So that part to learn the current system. Without the current system, we need to know what kinds of function, right? Function that we should have to add value to our client. So that is the analysis phase, right? Charlie, what is the deliverable of the planning phase? What is the deliverable of the planning phase? Jack, what is the deliverable of the planning phase? Raise hand if you understand the question. What is the deliverables of the planning phase? Okay, Harry.
I think deliverables is in the planning phase is system request and the work plan.
Work plan. Yeah, that is a document, right? That a document is a report. That a report support us to go to the next phase. What is that?
Go to the
Yeah, yeah, probably that's our work plans, but we have that.
you say go to the next phase.
Yeah, go to the analysis phase. All right. So that is the end of the planning phase. What will be the deliverable? But based on that, then yes, I vary is fine. Go to the next phase.
You have to
Yeah,
conduct
probably there's a we have work plan of course, and
Yeah,
do we need
you-
to know the budget?
you need conduct a feasibility analysis.
Okay, yeah, that's it. All right. So feasibility analysis report, right? So to conduct that, to have this feasibility analysis report or study report, that's of course we should have the work plan, right? And we should provide the report to convince evaluator, or we have a committee to say that it is feasible, right? If it's not feasible, I said that if it's not feasible, and stop it, right? And stop it would not go to the next phase. Also, it is an action, right? It's not proof, right? Feasibility study, feasibility analysis report. That is the deliverable. That's it. So you have, if you only have work plan, right? You should have a reason to support it economically, right? Is it feasible, right? We have enough budget, right? Economically to support or the schedule, time that is, allowable, or user, support to use it. We have our supervisor that supported this. So organization from technical, we can build it. We have the ability to build it. If that are, those considerations are feasible, then we can go to the next phase. Harry, which phase is the most difficult one?
Excuse me, can speak again?
The phase, right? So that's which phase is most difficult.
Most difficult.
Raise your hand. You understand that? Hank?
Design.
Okay, design. So design phase is the most difficult one because we got to make your dream come true, not just dream, right? Planning like dream, right? Is this feasible, right? You do it, right? So you need to have the ability, technically. So when we plan it, we technical feasibility, right? So that part is very difficult. So even you have the proposal, then I said, show me, right? Show me. So you need to show me your ability to write a code, right? That is the most difficult part. Or otherwise, a dream is just a dream, right? A dream just a dream. Make it come true. It's the most difficult one. Okay. Right. Methodology. Right. Methodology is a formalized approach to implement the SDLC methodology. Well, probably the can't distinguish method and methodology, but methodology more than academia, right? Method, what kind of method? I don't think it's an issue, right? So here use very formal words, methodology, right? So if we classify that, right? We categorize this. It could be process oriented. We focus on process, right? We said that we need to know business process, right? So if it's process oriented, we care about what will be the inputs, right? Inputs. You cannot process something without inputs, without the material. You cannot do anything. So process oriented, and we need to know the inputs and go to the process. Part of that, the outputs. If no output, well, something wrong. And some will be stored, right? When we store the results, this is not just store that. Some process will use it, right? So process-oriented, we care about the input, process, output, and we store something here. Then we wanted to analyze the structure of the data, so you're going to see ERD, entity relationship diagram, ERD, right? Wanted to see the diagrams of the data. In the process, you see DFD, data flow diagram. So data flow diagram, you're going to see inputs, outputs, process, and it stores something. So probably you see that's process-oriented data center. So based on what aspect you focus on, right? Or you wanted to combine it all together, there'll be object-oriented, right? Combines the data and the process. So we know there's object, right? So use object-oriented thinking. Then we look at anything. Object, of course, we hide it, we will encapsulate it. So you're going to see one of the object-oriented characteristic, encapsulation. So we encapsulate in an object, all right, encapsulates. So it could be lots of category. So it's process-oriented data center, object-oriented, or it is structured, right? Structured, like we said, it's a phase very clear to show. Planning, analysis, design, implementation, right? Very structured, right? Or another structure like rapids. So rapid application development, here you see rapid action. Usually you see rapid application, right? Application development, RAD, in short, RAD, rapid application. So we care to shorten the development time. Rapid application development or agile. Agile is quite nimble, very flexible, right? So it's very interesting to know that. So let's see. Structure. From structure of formal, we said that formal process, like waterfall, the water coming from top down, right? Top down, not the bottom up, right? Waterfall. You will see that, well, multiple waterfall is quite structured. We can see clearly about the phase, planning and go to analysis, design, implementation. If that is very, very clear, it means it's structured, right? Structured. But if that is structured, usually we have very clear requirement, right? The requirement will not change often, right? Seldom change. It's quite fixed. So if the requirement is quite fixed, it's quite clear. It is easy to obtain the requirements, or we have the current system with well documented requirements, and we need deliverable for each phase to evaluate. Then we use waterfall. All right, waterfall, clear requirements, little changed. When it changed, probably you allowed to go back to change that. For example, when we go to analysis, it finds out, well, something wrong, probably, but make it difficult to change, because if we choose waterfall, then we have be sure that if we submit the change, it could be very difficult, and we will be blamed for negligence. It means you should take care of the requirements, right? How come you submit the change request? So make it difficult to change back. Waterfall, right? Usually that is the government's project, all right? They need a lot of documentation, right, to keep it and to say that, okay, fine, I can, yeah, you can do it within the deadlines. Usually the deadline, that will be 1 year or the months, right? If the whole system, it takes longer, right? And since usually it is a complex system, but with well stable requirements, and we know how to design it, right? We have the needed know-how, needed skill, right? In a team, we can build it. So it is quite stable, and it is reliable. It takes time, right? So this waterfall is quite easy to understand. That it becomes very complex as a project manager, that we might adopt parallel developments. It's quite similar to waterfall, but since I'm a very experienced project manager, then I know how to subdivide it into a couple processes, right? That can shorten the finish time, okay? But of course, I need to know about the project well, then I can subdivide this into a couple process. And also, I should know how to staff and keep an eye, monitor that, right? Because one sub-project fail might affect others, or some project delay will affect the others. Eventually, the project should be integrated. So that's difficult, right? Parallel, it is structured. It's more complex. That well, of course, we need to know the requirements, well, understanding about that, and we need to have necessary know-how, right? Yeah. But for the schedule, it's not that visible, right? Well, we can see that after months we can finish that. No, all right, it's not that visible. It's about the structural development. So, but it is, very bureaucratic, right? It's a lot of documents to do. So rapid application development. That's how can we shorten that, right? So, like phase, because time is the issue. We need to finish that sooner, right? We will not wait until finish the whole project. We think that if we have 10 functions, then we should know that what would be the most crucial ones, right? Then we can put it to the version 1, right? That would be the most important and crucial. As our client care, then we can put our product to the markets earlier. And we can win the market share, right? It means that we can beat our competitor, right? We have a lot of competitor, so we need to compete with the time, right? When we put this to the markets earlier, we can win the market share, right? Phase. So a lot of version 1 and version 2, version 3. Of course, from version 1 we cannot see the whole, picture of the project, right? But it's a very good methodology, right? So think about that. You have a cell phone, you have anything to learn. You probably only use part of the function, you not use all of them. Right? Phased prototyping. So prototyping, the AV project, is quite simple, or it's a part of the complex system, but you wanted to see the results earlier, you use a prototyping methodology. It's prototyping that you might combine with or without the planning, all right? Combine analysis, design, implementation together, and that becomes system. It's not reliable at all, right? But we can see the result earlier, so it has a virtual year prototyping. The other thing that's thorough prototyping is on the other side, that if you have enough time and resources, the prototype become your reference, because it is not the real part of your system. It's only for reference. From the prototyping, then you can fix the bug. You might have a lot of prototyping, and it's for your design, it's only. So that would be very helpful to add the reliability of your system, because it's a lot of testing, right? A lot of prototype, and then they help you design. So throwaway prototyping. Final one, there will be agile. So extreme programming, SP, right? Extreme programming, and Scrum. They are quite different from structured rapid application, because agile development, particularly extreme programming, doesn't care about document. They think document is waste. So, it's coded. They communicate by code. So the team members should be, high skilled, very professional, experienced. So it's a small team. It's one person can beat a lot of professional. and they can solve a lot of innovative problem or whatever that is very new idea that they can try this. But you need to have a team, right? Extreme programming. And Scrum. Later we'll talk more about this, and Scrum is more formal, right? We have a lot of role. Scrum, a lot of industry, they use Scrum because it's more feasible for the company. They use Scrum because it's going to see everyone take its role to do it. You can see a lot of spring, and you can foresee the product they'll finish, right? So because the time is very intense for Scrum, they work all the day, like extreme programming, and Scrum has different role, but very clear. You can see the product backlog and the spring backlog. Okay, so here, planning, analysis, design, implementation, and system make it harder to go back. So you can see the dash lines go back, make it harder, right? And parallel, it's a multi-waterfall, right? So planning, analysis, design, but as an experienced project manager, and I know that the project can subdivide it into a couple process, right? So you can see sub-project 1, sub-project 2, sub-project 3, and then anyway it's difficult, right? It's difficult, but it can shorten the development time, right? You see phase 1, version 1, version 2, version 3. So we put most crucial function first, right? Importance first. So here, planning, analysis. So here, analysis, go to version 1, we analyze it again because we wanted to conduct these two functions, for example, these two of the tens, right? 2. Then design it. We have the version 1 and go to version 2. Of course, we need to analyze this again. Design, implementation, version 2, and go to. So you have many versions comes out. And here, planning you may have planning or not, right? Analyze the designs and implementation all together, and then you have the prototype that will be your system. Of course, it's not reliable. And here, there's a difference. It's for design, right? So you have planning, of course, planning a lot of time in planning, analysis, and then analysis again because you wanted to design it and testing it, right? Implementation. And here, only become a design thinking. That is we put it, that is the prototype 1 probably, and go back, prototype 2, until, sounds good, and then go to design, implementation, and system. So that is showway prototyping. Okay, so here tells that we saw without planning, right? Okay, that's about the structure and rapid application development, right? I analyze each methodology and the difference between them, right? And later, next hour, we'll go to extreme programming and Scrum, this Agile.